Greetings everyone and a warm welcome to you. Hey Gemini, this is your March reading for 2018. We are going to use the Morgan Greer deck in front of us and then 4 cards underneath as clarifiers. March is an interesting month. We have just come through the 2 eclipses of February, so I think people are fairly sort of grooving into possible changes and maybe a little bit of unsettling energies. And March, of course, is known as the month of seasonal change around the globe. We go from summer into autumn and winter into spring. It can be quite turbulent weather-wise as well as other emotional activities. Now, I did a little bit of intuitive work for you guys before we started the video, and for Gemini, the word that came up for you was freedom, and also the blue chakra energies, which is the throat chakra, and it said break free and feel no longer restrained. So Gemini, if any of you are seeking freedom of any sort, whether it be through relationships or personal issues or freedom from, you know, the chains of debt, perhaps this is the month where you can focus on that and see if you can find the answers to your personal freedom dreams. That's my cat Enzo down there attacking little Stevie. Okay, so Gemini for March 2018. The first card is the King of Cups, then the 3 of Swords, then the Emperor, and then the Hanged Man. And that Hanged Man is actually reversed. There are a few reversals in the deck. You have 2 major arcanas, the Sword and the Cup. So let's see what else is coming up for you, Gemini. Hostilities. That is the door to personal healing and happiness, and it's reversed. Action and the Sun. So 2 reversals in there going on, 1 from each deck. I'll just move that lens out a little bit. The reading is fairly free-flowing. It's not necessarily selected to each week of the month, so the energies can be coming or going. We will be working through in columns because that's how we're getting the clarification. So if we start off first with the King of Cups on the left-hand side, he's quite often known as a water sign energy and can often be a sort of an older person. When I say older, someone probably from the 40s type thing, late 30s, maybe even from 40s onwards. He could be someone you already know. He could be a partner. It could be a business type partner or a family relative. And it seems here as though there's some hostilities or some sort of energy going on underneath. Now, it could also be tied up a little bit even into this, the 3 of Swords there, which is often known as a card where we have relationship antagonism or issues, pain associated with it, and especially about needing to communicate through things. So clear communication can be required, and again we have this card reversed down here. So for some of you, I think for the month, as perhaps as we're starting off, or as I say, this can be moving through the month as well, there could be some sort of agitation with some close relationships around you. Now for some of you it might even be your personally close relationship, your romantic one. It feels, you know, do you need to clear the air? Does something need to be said? Does some form of communication need to take place? Are you arguing about things that are, you know, you're both just like getting at each other, or pushing the boundaries, or are you not listening to each other? So the hostilities card is definitely telling us about times when we can feel that someone in or around us, the situation is becoming maybe critical or demanding or hurtful. And it can be in a work environment situation as well as a more closer relationship situation as well. But it's sort of telling you you need to have this open discussion with someone, and you need to clear the air, and you need to stop negative treatment occurring. It's sort of, the message from the book says, allowing dishonouring treatment from others is an open invitation to the universe to send you more. So, you know, if any of you are in the situation where people aren't treating you fairly, you need to step up and say, well, actually, guys, no, there's an appropriate way to deal with this, or there's also an appropriate way in our relationship that we should be handling any confrontations or conflicts that are coming. And as well, you could be saying, you know, I don't actually deserve to be treated in this manner. Now, there's a positive affirmation that can be used here, and it says, I am receiving the peaceful, harmonious treatment I deserve in my life. I set boundaries, make reasonable requests, and make my expectations clear. And that's pretty much what this one here is all about as well. It is the art of communication. If we don't communicate with people at the correct level and in the right manner and also at the right time, this is when relationships can become skewed, they can become bitter, or they can be picking up the wrong messages. Now, this is not just romantic relationships, it is all relationships. And I especially think too, in times of tensions and this, where we are just in the world at the moment, there's a lot of seemingly people taking things the wrong way, or quickly jumping on bandwagons, or things that gain momentum very quickly because we may have misunderstood what we heard, or we may have said something in a manner that has been taken the wrong way. So to me, communication is key in solving a lot of problems at the moment, and I don't think enough of us do it well enough. For instance, a lot of people have now resorted to their communication in texts, on phones, or in emails, but they don't necessarily get across the true depth of feeling of emotion when we're trying to text a message to someone saying, hey, you shouldn't have said that to me, or I don't feel that was appropriate, or hey, you've got the wrong idea, yada yada. You need to sometimes meet with them face to face and be able to say the things that you want to say to clear the air. So you've kind of got this as a fairly prominent message coming through. Key is communication for you guys for the month, and maybe this is what's going to give you some personal freedom that we talked about. And Gemini, you of all people are really good at communication, because talking is one of your great assets. You're wonderful orators, and you're wonderful with your mind and being able to come up with constructive forms of communication. So with this card here that is reversed down beneath, the door to personal healing and happiness, we can see that there appears to be for some of you a little bit of pain and a little bit of glitch going on. Now, some of you could be in an emotional space where you're feeling a bit sad or bereft, and this could be around romance or personal relationships. They might have fallen into a bit of disrepair. Some of you might have even come to a point where there is a separation or a divorce pending, and it feels as though the pain is lingering. So you could do some nice, wonderful soul healing on yourself. You could do therapy work, you could get massages or Reiki, you could go and see counsellors or mediators if this is the case. You could try and have the door to communication reopened, and we've talked about that quite deeply already from the beginning of your reading. You could try and have emotional healing brought to you through your thinking processes, or through your ability to choose, you know, positive affirmations and gentle atmosphere, and having the right type of people around you who are calming, supportive and nurturing. I quite often like to put a very gentle heart-shaped crystal on there, and that is the calcite manganese, which is very good at bringing in peace and love and calm energies. So I'm sort of thinking for a lot of you, it feels very much in this reading as though you're wanting to move on from some relationships in your life, and some of you, this is your choice, moving on and wanting the freedom, and others it's coming to you, and it might be like a little bit of a shock or a strain, but I'm getting the feeling that the relationships that probably need to be let go, that there could be a little bit of unfair treatment or something going on for some of you. There has been perhaps unbalance or disharmony for a little while. So it's the whole relationship, the whole reading seems to be tied in intrinsically to relationships in your life. And I think when we go back to that initial intuitive work about the breaking free and the freedom that was coming to you and no longer feeling restrained, it's almost like some sort of major arcana thing or major karmic cycle that you've been working on and changing direction towards. So again, this could just be even personal freedom, that you are breaking free from your own personal belief systems or boundaries that have kept you in places or relationships or situations that weren't nurturing you or inspiring you enough to take the next step in life. So let us move anyhow to the next one, the Emperor and the Action card. Now these are both quite sort of strong cards. The Emperor is known as this time of the year, the Aries and the March, April energy time. We're coming into the Aries energy soon, not quite yet, in the middle of March. He can also be known as a man who is quite demanding and rigid in his viewpoints and opinions. And for some of you, this could literally be a new person coming into your life, possibly as a counsellor or a lawyer or someone who is supportive or nurturing. Also possibly for some of you as a new relationship partner. Now oftentimes he can literally be an Aries or have an Aries rising, and he can be known as an older person. The card beneath him, the Action card, is also very much about strength. He is incredibly powerful and physical himself, and so are the horses. Now the horses are saying take action, and the Emperor also has this kind of like dominating, strong, powerful, I'm taking action, or I'm going to do something. There's some sort of message in here about you guys taking this action around relationships in particular. And remember, it could be work, it could be family, it could be lovers, it could be anything. It could be yourself. But the Take Action card talks about balance as well, with the black and the white horse, and bringing some sort of balance into the action that you are taking. So movement is occurring for you in March. I think where you start the month off, you guys will not be in the same place at the end of the month. And you'll probably look back and go, wow, yeah, that's interesting. How did all that happen? Because I think it's quite an active month of quite a lot of standing up for yourself and moving into this place of freedom. You know, we come to the last two cards here, and another major arcana, and really another one too, because the Sun is also a major arcana. So the Hanged Man reversed can literally mean still that you're at a crossroads in your life or a situation where you need to make a decision. But sometimes with the reversal, it suggests that there are less choices, like you've either got to go up or down, in or out, or yes or no. It's not a time to attempt to control people or outcomes or situations, but it is a time to be deliberate in your progress and your actions. So normally when the Hanged Man is there, we like to take our time to process the information, and you know, which way do we go, the high road or the low road, and you know, we like to sort of enjoy the contemplation of it. But in this instance, there seems to be more need for speed as a saying that you could use, and the Sun certainly gets that going underneath as well. The Sun brings to us answers, clarity, information, just new projects, the birthing of something. So it feels like it's quite a fast-paced month, just like you Geminis are. It's like your mind is like boom, boom, boom. I'm in here, I'm getting out of there, and I'm moving on to there. I'm creating movement, flow, action. You know, to hell with anyone that's causing me trouble, because I'm not taking it anymore. It's kind of like this energy through the whole reading, and it seems to be winding up as we get to the end. So I think the Hanged Man reversed definitely is telling you let go of something that you are no longer suited to, or it's not right for you, or it's been hampering you or holding you down. And the Sun is just reiterating, let new stuff come in. Feel the birth of a new project, idea, relationship, direction forward. So I think it's a great way to finish your reading, these two here in particular. They seem to have some sort of lightness of being involved with them, and some challenges and excitement. I can feel excitement in the two cards as we move out of March and take ourselves into April, where a lot more of this action is going to push you forward and bring you quite positive and exciting flow. So thanks for listening, guys, and tuning in. I really appreciate that you do. I love reading your comments, and I love that you sub the channel, because if you don't sub, it's really hard to sometimes find the uploads when I put them on. So have a wonderful month ahead. If you'd like a private reading with me, just follow the links below the video and we can meet that way. Much love, everyone. Namaste.